I wanted to visit Wargreymon again because, I mean, he's in the picture. It's my favorite Digimon. He's coming. New starter deck is coming, and I don't know, man. We haven't had enough Wargreymon support. But I wanted to kind of go back into it and try to revive some, not old decks, but, you know, just going back. And I was really excited to kind of go back into this Wargreymon and just see what I do. So, pretty standard Coromon, right? When you have a Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name and you attack, draw one. I like this better than other ones. The other one that says when you remove a card from your security, draw one, because sometimes the option cards will delete you and you won't be able to draw. This one is as soon as you suspend, therefore you're attacking, you can go ahead and draw so long as you meet the requirements. So this Coromon, I think, is still going to be the staple for a Wargreymon deck. BT5 Coromon. Agumons, I need one more to complete this cute art set. BT12 Coromon, Agumon, Digivolve from 0 for Coromon. On play, reveal 4 cards, add 1 card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 Tamer will tie among them, and then return the rest to the bottom. Really cool because you're able to pick up 2 pieces if possible. It sucks because you are not able to pick up X antibody with this one, which that's not too bad. You know, especially if you already have X antibody in your sources, or not your sources, in your hand, and you don't really care, you'll just drop it. So excellent searcher, and then inherit all turns gives your Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon 1000 DP. Sorry for the glare. 4 of BT14 Agumon. This is the best one to have in the raising. Right, having the raising, because then if it's starting your main phase, if you have a tie in play, you can digivolve into a card with Greymon into a Greymon. Just close brackets so you can't go into X antibody Greymon without paying the cost. So this is very good because this extends your plays, allowing you to go up to level 6 if possible. You're not paying the 2, right? So you'll think of like you move up, digivolve for 2, and now you go into 3, and then you pass over. Here, you digivolve for free, and then you digivolve to a level 5, and now it's still your turn. Then you can, you know, do some stuff. So very good. Inherit has a your turn. While this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon, it gets 2000 DP. It has a blanket effect, of course, during your turn. Then we are going to play 2 of the starter deck 15 Agumon. This one you gotta be careful with. And the reason I'm running 2 is because there are some Greymons that you can't digivolve over this Agumon because he's black. And digivolve for Coromon for 0, so you don't have to worry about that. Start your main phase if your opponent has a Digimon gain 1 memory. This is really cool because then if you do have that Wargreymon, the secret rare, you can warp onto this Agumon, and you can just always have it on the field to just give you that extra memory if your opponent doesn't, you know, kill it. Because then you can go up to 4 memory as opposed to 3. And then all turns when an attack target is switched, gain 1 memory. 4 of the X antibody. I love this card, it just sucks it doesn't have an inherit. This one you can digivolve over Agumon for 0, and this one you can digivolve over the black one. So it's also cool if you already have that on the field, and you already got its benefit out of the way. Go ahead, digivolve for 0, you draw, and you get to search. And when you do search, you reveal 3, you can get a card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name and 1 X antibody among them. So you can now get X antibody and or another piece you need to do your combo. It's just very, very good overall. So we are running a total of 14 rookies. You can't cut it down to 12. Honestly, you don't have to run 14, but this ratio has been working out for me. Can in a way do a little bit of rookie rush if you want. Now I was talking about the Greymons that you won't be able to digivolve over that black Agumon, and that's going to be the starter deck 1 Greymon. Gives you generic security attack +1 as an inherit. Very, very good. 2 of the starter BT12 Greymon. This one just allows you to play a Tamer with tie in its name if you don't have one in play. It's kind of less and less beneficial to run, because with the level 5, if you raid, you can play one for free. But it always helps if you have that. No, yeah, it just sets up with your tie But in here, all turns when this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, it gets 1000, so it adds DP to it as well. 3 of the Greymon X antibody, and just digivolve over the Greymons. And of course, more importantly, all turns when this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and an effect will delete it or return to your hand or deck, you may trash 2 cards from the same level of this Digimon to prevent it from leaving play. So this is protection 3, and we're not running 4 because you already know we're running the limited 1 to 1, which they could bring this back to 4, so we can make Wargreymon, you know, tier 1 deck again. Hello. Your turn. When this Digimon would digivolve into a card with Greymon in its name, reduce the cost by 1 for each of this card's colors. So very, very good because it allows you to go into that raid Metal Greymon for a cost of 1 as opposed to 3. It can be broken. And then the inherit for this one is similar to the Greymon X, but it's a little different. This one, when this Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name would be deleted or returned to the hand or deck by an effect by placing 1 X antibody from this Digimon sources to the bottom of the owner's deck, prevented from leaving play. So this one is better than this one as far as inherits. Just because this one, if you have 2 Agumons, you have the Agumon and the Agumon X, you could use that to protect yourself and trash these. And then you could protect yourself again if you have 2 Greymons under it with this. You can protect yourself up to twice, 3 times even if you have the level 5 stacked. So that's why that one's better protection. This one is just more to help you turbo going into the level 5 or just building up to your stack. Last but not least, with the Greymons, I kind of want to run more than 2, but the secret rare Greymon digivolves from Agumon with the cost of 2. You cannot... Actually, no, yeah. Even since it is in name, you can even still digivolve for 2 over this Agumon X, because it has Agumon in its name, and it'll cost 2. If not, you can still go over it with 3 if you choose. So you can either pick 2 or 3, whichever one you want to choose. When digivolving, if this Digimon's name is Koromon, this Digimon gets 3000 DP for the turn. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. So as long as Koromon is under it, under your whole Agumon stack, digivolve, you get 3k, and now you can pop a Digimon with 8000 DP or less, which is great because you're popping all the level 5s. It's awesome, because now you're going to prevent them from acing if you're going to attack. And then all turns, this Digimon gains all the names of level 3 or lower cards in its Digivolution cards. So now, if you wanted to build up even more, now you can go into an Agumon that has the Digivolution route, parentheses, or alternate Digivolution rather, says Koromon cost of 0, because that Greymon gets all those names. And it doesn't say level 3 Agumon, so I can go back here and I can go back up here, and you can build up your stack, and you get what I'm going at. So this one is very good, that Greymon. It just sucks because, well, it's searchable with all your Agumons. It's not searchable if you're playing like training boost or like offensive training, or if you're playing red memory boost. Any of those cards, you can't pick up this Greymon, which kind of sucks. Which, not many I run in this deck anyway. You could split 3. I was thinking of doing 3 and then just leaving one of the Greymon there. I might end up doing that. But that is where I'm at with the level 4s. As always, I'm grateful for you guys watching my videos and just following my shenanigans. If you guys want to continue supporting my page, I did create a membership for those of you that actually want to support the page, helping me with buying cards because they're super expensive. I will give good perks to you guys. You guys can view pictures of all the deck profiles that I make, whether it's videos or decks that don't even make videos. They'll be in the membership tab just for you guys. You guys can vote on following videos, which ones you guys want me to make. More importantly, I'm giving 15% off to all the members every single time you buy something from the Etsy shop, unlimited. So take a look at it, and now back to the videos. Raid Metal Greymon, also the BT12 one. Still think this is probably the best Metal Greymon we have. Digivolve from 3 with level 4 with Greymon in its name, so you can go over the white one. Raid, you may, when you attack, you may switch the target to one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. It's part of the combo with this deck if you haven't played this deck at this point. All turns, once per turn, when an attack target is switched, you may play one black or red Tamer card from the play with the play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying the cost. That's where ideally you'd want to play the black one first, because then when you raid using his turn, you could use the black tie to give a DP and draw, and then you want to play the red one with his effect, unless whatever. Well, ideally you want to play the red one, and the black one you already want to have because of the DP, swing, and then with the piercing as an inherit when you go up to the other Metal Greymon X, then you can take advantage of the other tie that gives you security attack +1. The inherit for this Metal Greymon, if this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, it gains piercing. Phenomenal. 3 of the Metal Greymon X antibody. This one, when you digivolve, it gains security attack +1. Then if you have X antibody or Metal Greymon in its sources, it gets 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you'll end up digivolving. So we'll talk about the little combo basically, but you'd have the X antibody underneath. You would raid first, and then tap your Tamer, tap your type, play the other one, and then use X antibody to digivolve over this one because you can't for 0 over Metal Greymon. Get another security attack +1. Now you get the inherit of piercing, get +3k, so he jumps up to 11. You have Agumon underneath, another 2, so you could get up to 13 or more DP. That's why we're running 3 of those. 1 of the Alterius. Removal and protection, right? And this card is also treated as Metal Greymon. So what's nice is you can actually have this Metal Greymon digivolve for 0 here. Trigger it's when digivolving. If you have a Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP. Then, if you have X antibody underneath, you can swing, and now you can digivolve over it since it's considered a Metal Greymon. Digivolve for 0, get security attack +1. You have protection here, and now you can swing. So, 1 of is pretty nice. And I think that's it for the level 5s. Pretty straightforward. 2 of the BT12 Wargreymon. I absolutely love this card. I should get altered. Should probably check some out before they spike again. Has raid. When digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gets 3000 DP and gains reboot. So essentially he'll be 15k for your turn and your opponent's turn when you first digivolve. Then you get reboot, which is awesome because after you swing with that Metal X with all those security attack +1, +2 from the Greymon, +3 from Tai, you don't want to leave him vulnerable. So you'll digivolve into Wargreymon, gets another 3k, so now he's sitting at 6 during your opponent's turn. Reboot, now he has 18,000 DP. 2 of the secret rare Wargreymons. Being able to warp from Agumon when you have to have a Tamer with tie in its name, and your opponent has to have a Digimon with 10,000 DP or more. You're able to digivolve over Agumon for a play cost of 4. And then this one, when you do digivolve, it gains raid for the turn, then it may attack. So it gets blitz and raid. Just keep in mind you can't play Agumon and then go into Wargreymon and then swing in the same turn. That Agumon has already had to be there. What I like is that you can, if you have it in the breeding area, come up and you're like, oh man, my opponent has level 6, he just killed my stack. Boom, go ahead and warp, raid, security attack +1. It also gets when it attacks if you have a Tamer, and piercing. With the Agumon, possibly 14k, swing over it, check, and then usually Omni for game at that point. We're not playing Wargreymon X because we have a better X antibody card. Yes. Gallantmon X. Oh yes. Oh yes. Because I don't even care for rating at this point. You're only going to do it if you want to. I mean, with him, you're going to delete the Digimon anyway. But you can digivolve for 0, it'll still be your turn. Swing with the X antibody. You gave this security attack +1. Said you have potentially this Greymon gives you security attack +1, so now security attack +2. Swing, and what's beautiful is that this will still get the 3k because it's meeting all its criteria when it digivolves. Digivolve for 4. Now now he has the protection of your opponent's effects because the memory is at your opponent's side. And then, of course, when you do digivolve or when you attack, if Gallantmon or X antibody, in this case you can have the X antibody underneath, isn't in sources until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gets 4,000 DP and one of their Digimon gets minus 4,000. When you digivolve, end of attack once per turn, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. If this affected and delete, trash the top card of the security stack, and then this Digimon unsuspends. So it basically does what Wargreymon does, but with protection. And then all turns while you have 0 or less memory, this Digimon isn't affected by your opponent's Digimon's effects. Now, mind you, the only downside that I would say is that you're not going to have the protection of the Greymon X antibodies, because of course Gallantmon doesn't have Greymon or Omnimon in its name, but he has his own protection. And they either gotta swing over it, they can't digivolve unless the memory is back to you, which can be very hard, right? So it's really hard to get over this guy when he's on the board. It's just nuts. It is nuts. So we're doing the Gallant X because of that. 7s. 1 Omni BT4 because after you do all those checks, you want to digivolve for 4. Unsuspend. You get Blitz, meaning you can attack. Then you go ahead and finish off after you check all their security stack. And then he does have protections with this all turns. When an opponent's effect will delete this Digimon and return it to the hand or deck by trashing 1 level 6 Digimon card in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, prevent it from leaving play. Another thing you can do, you unsuspend, swing, you have the X antibody underneath, digivolve into Omnimon X antibody, and use this effect. So if your opponent does have, if they do have, I think 1 left. So if you check all the security, and now you go into Omni, swing, use the X antibody, digivolve when you're attacking. So now when digivolving, return all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level to the bottom of their owner's deck, in any order. Also, when digivolving and when attacking, once per turn, by placing 1 X antibody or level 6 card from this Digimon's sources at the bottom of its owner's deck, reveal all of your opponent's security cards, trash one of them, place the rest in your opponent's security card face down. So essentially, you will trash the last one, and now you go for game. This part is nuts. And of course, you could also digivolve 3 over Omnimon, and then when a Digimon with X antibody and its traits will digivolve into this card, reduce the evil cost by 2. So we are doing 2 and 2 split just because of that, because this one, it could take away that last security and then go for game. 2 ties. Oh, starter deck 15, memory setter. When an attack target is switched on both players' turn, you can suspend it, you draw 1, and then one of your Digimon gets 2000 DP until the end of your turn. End of the turn. So if during your opponent's turn, it'll be at the end of their turn, it goes back to normal. Ideally, you're going to use this when you raid, either with Wargreymon or with, what's his name? Metal Greymon. And 2 of the BT1 ties. This one, memory setter, and then all of your red Digimon with 4 or more Digivolution cards gain 1 memory. 4 has been the sweet spot just because the searching for this deck is actually really good now, with the both Agumons, of course. So 4 is enough. You can use the tie that gives blocker if you want. I don't find it necessary because you're trying to go offensive anyway, and you just want to be in and out. 3 X antibody. If this card's in the security stack, gets hit, gain a memory, and it goes to your hand. That's what it does. Main effect, you can place this card in a Digimon that does not have X antibody in its sources and place it underneath. Then you get the following inheritance. All turns, effects can trash X antibody in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. This is great for going against blue, but I mean everything else will get stripped. When attacking, this Digimon can digivolve into a Digimon card with X antibody and its traits in your hand for its Digivolution cost. And that's how that works. Now again, like I said, you would Digivolve for 3 until you're level 5, place X antibody underneath, Digivolve for 0, give that extra security attack +1. You have this, no matter, you know what I'm saying, X antibody will be here, fine, I'll fix it. You have this, Digivolve for 0. Now ideally, back in the day, you would swing with this because you want to get rid of your opponent's stack. 0, boom, security attack +1 +2, right? But now here we're at 0, and like I said, here's when you'll swing, and we're just gonna go. You would go into Wargreymon X, but he's not as good as Gallantmon X, right? Pay the 4, it's fine. Opponent's effects aren't gonna affect you anyway, and then you can even unsuspend if you don't delete a Digimon, or delete a Digimon with 14,000 DP or less, essentially. And there you go. And now you got generic security attack +1 every time you attack. It becomes your turn again. Right, you swing. If you don't delete something, trash a card, unsuspend, security attack +1, and now you can essentially attack again, security attack +1. So now it's you trash, you 4, and then you trash 1. That's 5 cards, and then you can just blitz your game. Oh yes. So 3 of those. And 2 offense training. Now I was doing Garnet and then I was doing Red Memory Boost. They work fine, especially if you want to gain back memory. The only downside is with the Greymon, like I said, not being able to pick up the Greymon, also not being able to pick up the Omnimons. These are 3 targets that you can't pick with the searching options. And of course, you know, any of the option cards. So I just did offense training. This reveals 2. I'm like, I'm not trying to go too deep because the Agumons already kind of go deep enough in the deck to search for stuff, you know. But you can definitely switch it to the memory if you'd like. It's more of a preference at that point. And then just 1 Crimson Blaze just to help stop your opponent from playing Digimon with defects. The new Scottymon, right? You can play Digimon from its effects, things like that. It's going to strip. Blue is going to be a hard matchup for you, especially if they strip, but that's why you build up at the back, and when you're ready to go, just go to town and you can OTK them in 1 turn. So absolutely fire deck, and I can't wait for the support. Gallantmon X makes this deck pretty good. But I mean, you can just slap it on any deck that it'll work with and it'll work, you know. What do you guys think? Are you guys actually putting in Gallantmon X? Do you feel you're sticking more to the normal route of X antibody? Oh, I guess I should talk about why I didn't put Agumon Bond, the ace one. You can't search it. The Agumon searches only for Greymons and Omnimons, so that's a downside. And you do that a lot, and I was bottom decking it a lot. You're not going to bottom deck the Omnimon because you can get it. It's in its thing. So that's why I don't run it personally. Yeah, so I just wanted to be as smooth as possible. Gallantmon will be the only one that doesn't search, but most times you don't need the card, but it's really good when you do have it. So you do have a lot of drawing power, which you'll get them anyway. So there we go. I'll catch you. Actually, I want to do a series on kind of bringing back decks that aren't played as much. I know Wargreymon's about to get support again, but I don't know. I was just like, man, I want to try playing Wargreymon, man. That was my thing. I might do. Let me know if you want me to do Black Wargreymon in the comments below if you even made it this far into the video. If you didn't, I'm still gonna make it anyway. But I'll catch you guys in the next one.